We're with SPU head women's basketball coach Julie Heisey, getting ready for the start of the season here. Coach, practice has been going for almost a couple of weeks now. What have you seen so far, and what have you liked so far?
Well, today is day 10, so we're excited to have 9 practices under our belt, and I think I've seen really good progress. It's not the same progress that I think I thought we'd see because we haven't had the mix of returners that I would have liked in there. Katie Thralls is running cross country, and so that's a point guard that we're missing. And then Erin Stevens has been out with a stress fracture, and she's a senior post. And then we're missing Aubrey Callan right now. So with that, the positive is that our younger players, we have 5 new players, get a lot of reps, and so they're going to learn quickly because they have to learn quickly. But right now practice is going a little bit slower just because you don't have that 11 returners or 10 returners and then 5 new people. There's just right now we're 6 and 5.
Among your returning players, who you're expecting some big things from this year, what kind of contributions are you looking for in particular?
Well, I'm really excited. I think our kids had a fabulous spring, and then they left for the summer, and of course then it's up to them. And there's not anybody that came back that didn't use their time well. And so every one of our girls, returning players, has made huge strides, and so I'm excited about that. But of course, Katie Benson and Rachel Murray are 2 leading scorers that are returning, and I continue to expect big things from them. But Betsy Kingma had an amazing summer, and I think she has had a lot of good she showed some really good things last year in the games. But I think just you can tell she's a lot stronger and more explosive and just confident, and that's great. And I see that same thing with Aubrey, just very determined and really has worked hard, and I expect to see some really good things. And then Susanna Olson is a sophomore and got a lot of minutes really as a freshman, but now just is going to be playing more of the point, and that's going to be more her responsibility. But again, someone who's worked really, really hard, and I think she understands the difference between being a freshman and coming in and it's all new, and now knowing what the lay of the land is and who she's going to be competing against on different teams, and I think that makes a big difference. So yeah, I think that's 5 girls that I expect some really good things from.
And you mentioned the newcomers. We've got some talented ones in there. Brooke Bowen, Brianna Lascania, Molly Greger. You got a nice transfer, Michaela Barnes. And even Maddie Flommer, not new, but of course she was out hurt last year. What are you looking for from some of these kids?
Well, I think we got a great recruiting class, and not only great as far as their skill level and just ability, athletic ability, but great people and great kids. So I'm really excited. And Maddie has, rehabbed well. She's still struggling with pain issues, which is hard, but so we're still trying to figure out how to get through some of those things because this is all new territory, and it's hard when you haven't played a year and your shin still hurt. But Maddie has the ability to be a fabulous rebounder and a really good defender, and she has the ability to play inside and play bigger than herself, and so that's a really something that we're excited about. And Michaela is a junior, and you can tell again that she's coming in as a junior and has a lot of maturity and is super coachable. I'm really pleased with just how fast she learns and how quickly she accepts teaching. And right now she's playing more of the point guard than I think she or I expected, but she's taken that role on, even though I think her natural spot is a 2 guard. But she's a good shooter. She can do some great things around the basket. She has the ability to score over some big people, and I think defensively is going to be able to do some really good things for us.
Still early in practice, haven't played a game yet, but based on what you know about your players, both returners and new, what do you expect to maybe be a strong suit of this team this year?
Well, I mean, like last year, we had no trouble scoring, and I think that we're still a very good shooting team, but I hope by the end of the season that we can say defense and rebounding are 2 things that were our strengths. And that really is just something that we have to continue to be intentional and say this is what we're capable of doing, and this is something we're going to take pride in, and this is something that's going to help us win a championship.
And you mentioned defense and rebounding. Are those the 2 things maybe you're really working on to improve from last year's team?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think those are areas. I mean, if you can, well, we've won a lot of games, even getting to the Elite 8 when we weren't very good offensively at times because we had so many turnovers. We won a lot of games based on our defense. And last year, we scored enough points many times to win, but we were also giving up points in high 70s and 80s. And so that's something we definitely have, said this is what we want to do, and I think we're working really hard on that. And then, continue taking pride in rebounding.
How good can this team be, Julie? What's within reach for this group of kids?
Well, you know what? We haven't played a game yet. And I think right now our team, there's a lot of teams that start fast and don't finish where they want. And our goal is just every day to give our best and to control the things that we can control, and do our best to bring out the best in each other. And I think if we can do those things, I think that we're going to have a really successful season, and I think that we'll be a different team than we were last year.
Some early thoughts on the GNAC. The poll is out. Western Washington the favorite. Simon Fraser right behind. SPU picked for third. How do you comment on that, please?
Well, I think our conference is really good, and I think we were really good last year. And I think, we had a 3-way tie, maybe 4-way tie for third place last year. Yep. And I think that that just shows how much parity there is. The difference is Anchorage isn't going to be the same team as they've had in the past, but I'm fine with where the poll is. I think, Western obviously has everybody back but Schramm, I can't remember her name. And so they lost a really good player there, but they have a lot of returning players. And so I totally understand why they were picked first. And Simon Fraser, I think, we played him 3 times last year and we lost to him twice. And they have everybody back, and they're very, very talented. And all those seniors have been playing a lot since they were sophomores. So, I think the GNAC race is going to be really tough, and I think obviously you put Montana State Billings in there, and Central's going to be better. And we've talked about with our team that last year it was shown that anybody could beat anybody on a given night, and I think that's where it's even going to be more apparent this year. And you have to come ready to play.
Looking at your preseason schedule, some good West Region opponents on there. UC San Diego, Sonoma, Dixie. A couple of new teams coming in for Sodexo this year. What do you think of your preseason schedule so far?
Well, I'm excited. It's still early because it used to be we didn't start games till the 15th, and so having games on the 9th and the 10th after 4 weeks of practice, that's a challenge. But obviously we've played Chico and Sonoma for years, and San Diego, and Chico beat us last year, so I think it's good that we get to go there and play them again. I think our kids are all looking forward to that game. And UC San Diego will be a new team because they have a brand new coach, and they lost Chelsea Carlisle, who's easily one of the best players in the country, and so they're going to be a little bit different. And obviously Azusa Pacific won the national championship in the NEI 2 or 3 years ago, I can't remember, but so again, very well coached. And so I think we have some really good teams, and I'm excited about that because obviously I think you get better by playing the best. And right around the corner we have Northwest Nazarene and Central Washington, the first week of December. So I mean, it's like we need to be prepared with good games early so that we can be ready for those 2 conference games.
And just one exhibition game, but it's against a Pac-12 team, Oregon State. Is that something you and the kids especially look forward to, getting a chance to play a D1 team like that?
Yeah, I think, the biggest thing is that Oregon State, I didn't realize this till I looked at their roster the other day, but they have almost everybody back. And so that is going to be a huge challenge. They have a 6'7" post player, which we don't see very often. So, I think, the fun part about playing a Pac-12 team is that we get to play in a big environment, we get to play in a big game, and we get to play against a team that physically at times is going to be better than us. And so that means, I think, again, we have to really control the things that we can control and be really fundamental. And those are things that I think in the end, if we can start that way, will help us just lay a foundation for where we want to go. But yeah, it's a great opportunity. We're thrilled that we get to go down there and do that.
And finally, one last question. It came out a couple days ago that a coach elsewhere in the country says they should lower the rim by 7 inches in the women's game. What do you think? Good idea? Bad idea? I need to think about that a little more.
Well, I think my sister and I were actually having this discussion last night, and obviously we're not going to have a women's gym and a men's gym. And it's interesting to think about because obviously in volleyball, men's and women's volleyball have different nets. One's, I think, 7'4", and the other one's at 8 feet. And I do think that some things could definitely be different. And one of them is just, they changed the 3-point line. And, the women, that was our dunk. And now we're shooting from the same 3-point line as the men. So, I mean, obviously they're making changes that aren't always, I think, beneficial to us. So it would be interesting to make a change where either the guys are playing at a taller rim or, maybe we play at a smaller rim. But I don't know. I think women's basketball is pretty good the way it is. We need to continue to be fundamental and celebrate the things that we do well. And, but yeah, if they want to try it, we can try it.